Hello, you all. Welcome to the channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do like and comment because that helps the channel be seen before more people. This channel is to help others who are going through chronic situations like I'm going through. I'm a cancer survivor, but ever since the cancer diagnosis and the treatments ended, I haven't gotten stronger. In fact, I've gotten weaker, and we found some other things like a congenital heart defect that's affected me all my life, and we didn't know what that was. And we also have some lung issues from the radiation, which are chronic, and some other growths that we're just watching. So it's been an ongoing journey and a struggle with pain and a struggle with weakness. But this is why I have the channel, and I know that there are others like you, like me, myself, who are going through stuff, and I just want to figure out, that's why I call it In Pursuit of Life with Sabrina. I want to figure out how to do this well and to thrive through it, doing the best that I can do. Now today, this is a Monday. My Mondays are really interesting because I'm coming off of a very busy Sunday because I go to church out of town. As just as a reminder, I go to church out of town in Austin, and I live in Waco. And so that's about an hour and 40-minute drive every Sunday. And I serve both services. And this is for people who've never heard this before, but I serve both services. And I serve in children's church. I serve in the production side of children's church. And my church is big. It's Austin Ridge Bible Church. And we have about 8,000 members. We have 4 different campuses. Plus, we just bought another church that we're going to start a campus in the middle of Austin. Lots of babies, lots of things growing, so we have a lot of changes. And today I want to talk about, just overcoming some fears and what that looks like. And I also want to talk about just accepting my situation, knowing that it's God's job to fix it. Now, first of all, and I go to this church, and it's big, and we just rolled out a new system, and we have 5 services for Easter. And I wasn't there for Christmas because I had some issues to where I couldn't make it for Christmas, which was a great time to, if I was going to miss in my position, that was a great time to miss because it's not real busy because a lot of people travel during that time. Except on Christmas Day, it's busy because, you have your people who may not normally go to church but do show up on Easter. The church show up on Easter and Sunday. Easter and Christmas, sorry. Which, we don't know if it's going to be on a Sunday. Anyway. So we have 5 services. We had 3 on Saturday, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and 6 o'clock. And we had 2 on Sunday. Our normal services, 9 and 11. And they really stress to the members, please show up on Saturday because it's going to be packed on Sunday. And that gives room for the people who are, visiting or coming in that don't normally come. We wanted to make sure we had space for them. Now, because I love serving, I've always served in church. And when I had a chance to, I've always made a point to choose churches that had areas where I could serve in. And I've always done it. Me and my kids have always gotten to church before church started and after church ended. And that was okay because we were busy and we were helping people. So I have continued that. And so what I decided to do is first impressions at our church is like the greeters, the ushers, the people that greet outside, the golf cart team, the coffee team, the connections desk. And so I decided to go ahead and serve on the 4 o'clock service and the 6 o'clock service on Saturday, and I did ushering and greeting. So that the 4 o'clock service, in order for me to get there, I have to leave no later than like 1:30 to report early before service because we have to get there like 40 minutes before church starts. And so I got there, and the first service at 2 o'clock, well, the the first service at 2 o'clock was ending, and they had 1,400 members, or 1,400 people show up. The second service at 4 p.m. was more full, and that's when I was ushering, and it looked like it was almost near capacity. We had an overflow room which could hold 700, but they only had a couple of people in there, mostly families with babies that wanted to, because we ran out of space, I think, in the baby area, and so and just because there were so many people, and so there, a lot of them were in there. For the 6 o'clock service, we didn't have children, but it looked like we had about, maybe, it was lighter than 2 o'clock, it looked like. And so maybe there were 1,000 people there. So that was, and I ushered then. Well, for Sunday, it was raining really hard at the 9 o'clock service in Austin. And, and I spent the night at my son and daughter-in-law's house, and they're only 45 minutes from the church. And 40 minutes. I mean, if there's not traffic, then it's like 30 something minutes. So anyway, I got there, and we have a new system that we're rolling out in Children's Church, a check-in system, and we started it a couple of weeks ago, hopefully to have all of the bugs worked out. And everything that they had done to work the bugs out, for some reason, didn't stick. So we walked into Sunday morning on Easter, because I served both services, with a lot of the same problems. And it was challenging, which I love a challenge, and I love problems, and I love helping solve problems. But it's really hard on families because they're coming in thinking we've got the problems fixed, and we don't. It's the third Sunday in a row. But we just worked off of the override system, and that really helped. And thank God that it wasn't extremely busy in Children's Church, because we have 3 different buildings. Building A is where I work. We service birth through 1st grade. Then there's Building C, which services 2nd grade through, I think, 5th grade. And then Building D is junior high and high schoolers. And there's 3 stories to Building A that I work in. And I work in the main entrance with the check-in. So when people first come out of the sanctuary and they go straight in, they see me, see our desk. So we had a lot of issues, but it was fun. And then after that, I went to my son and daughter-in-law's house after that, and we had family time. There was my daughter-in-law's parents were in from the coast, and my daughter Gabby was able to come, and I think my ex-husband and my mother-in-law, which I didn't know they were coming, my ex-mother-in-law were there, and it was a really nice time, and hanging out with the babies. We called ourselves the Mia and Roman fan club. Yes, that's what we are. It was just lots of phones, lots of pictures. It was just so much fun. It was like they had paparazzi, which we really are. We just love those babies. And so that was a lot of fun. And then one of the things that I realized, that I would not have ever been able to experience this if I had not just gotten over some fear of just doing what I needed to do. That it really helped when the kids went off to college, because I went to Baylor only because I was really afraid. I never, I just didn't know how to just go and do things on my own. So I made sure that I was well equipped and learned a lot, so that when my kids, I wanted them to leave Waco and go off to college. And they did. And they went to 3 different universities, but we were there for them and supporting them. But in doing that, I faced a lot of fears, which helps me now face fears. Even just facing the stuff that I'm facing medically and fighting through it is a realization of me facing fears and not being afraid. So, and one of the things that I've done too to help with that fear of the way my life looks right now is I have been watching other channels. Like I watched this one lady who does a video, and I have to put the link down, but she's a black lady, and she cruises full time. And she just dropped everything and decided to do cruises. And it's really interesting watching her do what has worked really well for her. And then I listened to a young lady called Becoming Better Daily. I really don't know her name, but I'm going to put the link down with her because I really enjoy listening to her. And I want to go on a cruise, and I've never been on a cruise. So I watched another lady, I think it's called Cruise Well or something like that. I'm going to put the link down. And there for her too. And she really helps. And then I watch people who have decided to move into their cars and vans and just travel across the United States wherever they can drive to, because their ability to just get past the fear has really helped me. And another thing that I have been really studying is the book of Ruth. And you all, I'm sorry this is so long, but I'm not going to be much longer. But Ruth in the Bible was a young lady who was married, and then her husband died, and the father-in-law died, and then the brother-in-law died. And so her and her mother-in-law went out back to the land where Naomi, which is her mother-in-law, came from, and they had to start over. And Ruth did what she had to do. You know, she went to the fields to glean like they had back then, you know, the wheat and stuff, so that they wouldn't starve. And it was in that God came through for her, and she ended up marrying a relative of Naomi's that was rich, and he took her in as his wife, and things changed for Ruth. But Ruth did what she had to do until God worked it out for her. And that has encouraged me. I've been really studying the book of Ruth. I woke up a couple of mornings ago, and the Holy Spirit really impressed on me to study Ruth again. So I looked at it from that standpoint, and it really fits where I am, and I know it fits where a lot of other people are too. We're in situations we've never been in before, a lot poorer than we were before, with less ability than we were before. But if we do what we can do, God will come through. And so I encourage you, just like I'm doing what I can do, what's in front of me to do, knowing that God will work out the rest. So, because he's faithful like that. So that's it, you all, for today. I just encourage you to have courage in adversity, have courage in pain. Everything you do to move forward is not done in vain. Bye.